Go, 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 go. There we go. Right. Live chat. There we go. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. To Send It to Ever channel. We're back. Oh, yeah, that's playing through that. Just got it on my phone, but I've now got a new thing, so I don't need to look at this. Goodbye. Now I can see the live chat. So if anyone has a message or anything they want to say, if they've got any suggestions, then you can put them. And I've also put a Q&A, which I hope will bring up the interaction, so that you can ask me any questions. Oh, I see. Someone has entered the chat. Well, I don't know what to think to this guy. What do we think to this guy? It's a bit dodgy. How's the weather? Well, it's getting interesting, to be honest. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. To be fair, it's getting more interesting. Will it snow? Well, we'll have to wait and see, won't we? You'll have to watch. You'll have to watch and wait and see. And wait for a few people to get in here. It's only just started, so there's already 5 of you in here. It must be raring to go. Yeah, we'll get straight on with things in a moment. Like, let's see if my mic's okay. Yeah, I think that's okay. Right, let me move this forward. Right, there we go. Right, hello everyone. Right, we're here. So, we are waiting for the snow. Well, we'll have to wait and see what happens, won't we? We'll start on where we always start, with the UK Met Office UKV. Starting from, this run has been done from the 3 PM today. Very dry at the moment. Very dry. A couple of patchy showers in Ireland. Nothing much of interest at the moment. Then weather fronts start to approach from the northwest, bringing bouts of rain for Scotland. Northern Scotland could be quite heavy at times. A few showers persist through the day in parts of Scotland, Northern Ireland, and western parts of England. As we clear through, this weather front clears through Northern England and begins to weak. Behind that, this is a weather front, and obviously through Saturday, showers in the north begin to turn to snow. Ooh. Obviously not too widespread and probably mostly over hills, but there could be a few sleet showers in northern areas of Scotland. Obviously in central, southern parts, and many parts of northern England, it's still under quite a mild air mass. The cold air's not really dug in, besides through Scotland. As we go through Saturday, then persistent snow showers continue, mixed with some rain as well. I pull up the chat. Hoping for snow. Yeah, me too. A few people weren't actually. My last side stream, some people were not wanting snow. Some people don't like it. I assume it's because of the bills. You know, like the cost of living and the bills, and you know all the stuff that's happening with pensioners and different people and different circumstances. So some people don't want it, which is understandable. But I do like a little bit of snow. It is a bit early for it though, really. Snow showers persist through early morning of Sunday in northern areas before this further weather front approaches from the west. Keep messing with things. That clears southwards. That could bring bouts of rain, heavy rain at times, to southern central counties, maybe even into the southwest, Wales and Republic of Ireland as well. And then by Monday, the cold air has cleared through. It's actually through the country, as you can see. It's moving down. So the -5 line is what you really want for snow. But it's not always that, but most of the time you need the -5 line. And as we go through Monday into Tuesday, this is when it happens. However, most runs have the -5 line in already, so the UKV is a little bit different. So as you can see, a weather front approaches, a very big weather front approaches from the west, and as that moves into the cold air, it turns readily to snow. Now this has been moved northwards and southwards with the runs, depending on the positioning of the cold air, whether it's fully in or half in, and also the low pressure is changing the position of the cold air. So could be shifted further northwards or southwards. We'll have a look later on, see what things are showing. But obviously, as that rain moves in, it turns readily to snow in northern England, and probably into Scotland as well. Exactly, yeah. So the snow is quite restricted because the cold air is not fully in. So the UKV is a bit rubbish, to be honest. And then the snow fades away, and then the cold air sinks southwards. So any rain on the back edge would turn back to snow. And then the heavy showers continue through Scotland. Now, if we have a look at the daytime temps, don't take these too literally, because things do vary between the models and the forecasting. But let me just go on here. If I go here, and then I can see max temperatures. So if we go for the max temperatures for today, it's not been too bad. And then if we go Friday highs max temperatures of 10, 11, 12 degrees. Move that down a bit. 10, 11, 12 degrees. Obviously overnight cools down. Not in some regions where it holds, where the high pressure's stuck around. And then into Saturday, could be a frost in northern areas. And then Saturday afternoon, 9, 10, 11 or 12 in the south. And even 13 in the southwest, so quite mild. As we go through Sunday, slight more frost risk in northern England and Scotland, but as we've seen already, the cold air doesn't really get fully in. Still brings temperatures down though to 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 in the far south and southwest, closest to the warm air. Through Sunday night, very extensive frost. Some areas getting down to -3, -4. Wouldn't even rule out -5 in areas such as Braemar. Look at there you go, -5 in Aberdeenshire. Obviously, many areas could see a frost, but by Monday the 18th at 12 o'clock midday, widely not above 1 to 3 degrees in the north, but in the southwest, they're hanging on to the warm air. So get the coats at the ready if you live in central and northern Britain. But if you live in the southwest, you're alright for now. There's that low pressure sliding through to the south, and you can see it brings up the temperatures before the cold air digs back in, and most areas go chilly. So at 3 o'clock on Tuesday, most areas are not above 7 or 8 degrees. So pretty much a bit cold. A bit cold, really. Let me just see if that's all good. Yeah, there we go. Right. That's all fine. So yeah, the cold air will dig back in with due course. If you do enjoy the stream, by the way, please do leave a like. They've been doing really well, these streams, and I like to do them. I was going to do a video with the snow, but it's a bit far out, and there's too much uncertainty within the models to do it, so we'll do that another time. Let me just check that that's all working. Restore the chat. Yeah. Right, okay. What am I doing? I'm all over the place. We are 3 subscribers away from 300, so if you could leave us a sub, that'd be greatly appreciated. Right, let's switch to that. And then I can pull up the chat again. What am I doing? I'm all over the place. And then we want pop-out chat. There we go. Now I can read it. Hooray! So, let's have a look then. So, the GFS. To start with, this is an American model. The most unreliable. No, it's okay. It's okay. But we'll see what it shows. So, high pressure sat over the top of the country, keeping it mostly dry. Pulls out into the Atlantic. And allows more of a northwesterly flow, turning into a northerly flow by midday on Sunday, which allows, as we'll put it on the temperatures now, and I'll go through it very quickly. Oh, come on, PC, so slow. The -5 line, the cold air, fully gets in, so it's already different to the UK Met, which didn't even get it into the country. There's that low pressure system, and on this run, it's further south, going into southern England. So southern England would see a snow event with this. It zips through when we're back into those cold northerly winds. There's a large block heading up towards Greenland and mid-Atlantic ridge, and low pressure systems are sliding down the east coast, another low approaching from the southwest, which would bring another snow risk to the south, but the winds stay from the north, so showers in the north and east, and if the wind veers in from more of a northwesterly, there would be showers which may drift inland, further inland, but obviously got to be close to the time. Could be troughs as well. Troughs in the floor, disturbances, as you can see, little kinks in the isobars, could be like little troughs, disturbances. The high pressure does eventually weaken by about day 10, and we go into more of a southerly or southwesterly wind, with very mild but very unsettled conditions returning. But it had to come to an end at some point, I guess. But yeah, very mild conditions return. Slight hint of slight snap of cooler air, especially for Scotland. -5 line back in, but wouldn't last long. It's a more mild pattern, and the westerlies would reign supreme. So that's not very good. Not very good run. Right, if we have a look at the GFS 12Z and we have a look at the precipitation, there's the cold front clearing through. Behind it, the cold northerly winds, allowing showers to turn to snow in northern parts, mostly over hills, but not exclusively. Could be a bit of sleet and a wintry mix to lower levels. As we go through Sunday, though, the cold air proper digs in, so all of these showers in the north will turn to snow. through Monday. It actually shows it quite early on this one. Through Monday, though, you can see the rain or the low pressure sliding on a northwest southeast with the jet stream. It's heading into Northern Ireland and then England. But with that slight trajectory being more further southwards, the snow extent is further north. It's the low pressure further south, so the cold air's further south. So the snow is on the northern edge always. So in the south you get rain, but on the northern edge you get snow. And as you can see here, Birmingham, Manchester areas would see heavy snow, and especially through Lincolnshire would see quite heavy snow, extending maybe even to parts of eastern Wales. As you can see, that clears through. Back into northerly winds, so showers confined to northern and eastern areas, and maybe even in the west and Northern Ireland as well. Could see a few patchy showers. You can see the winds drifting from more northwesterly, which may allow some showers to draw further inland. See some showers extending into Wales. And then again, another low pressure system goes to the south, brings a snow event to parts of southwestern England. Then we go back into, brief northerly winds. Then there's a massive snow event for Scotland on Saturday as the mild air returns, and then all precipitation turns back to rain, besides in the far north where there could be, disturbances in the flow. But it's a long way off, so I won't take it as gospel anyway. It's too much uncertainty in the next few days. GEM next is the Canadian model. Come on, internet, start working. Again, high pressure translating it out into the west. Winds turn more into northwest, into a northerly by Monday. This low pressure is much further northwards. Oh dear. Which would mean areas of southern and northern Scotland would see the snow. Anywhere else would mostly see rain with this. And then eventually on the back edge of that low pressure system, winds do return from the north, allowing colder air to sink southwards. So that means that any rain on the back edge would turn back to snow before clearing out into the Atlantic. And another low pressure allowing snow showers, bit less so with the GEM. Obviously rain everywhere else. Cold air's properly in now, and the snow event is further northwards with this. Big snow event for northern England and central southern Scotland. Quite heavy snow. On the back edge does not show the snow, but you would expect a little bit of wintriness on the back edge. Little signs of troughs, so not always a done deal with this. Could be little troughs behind it with the unstable northerly flow, so there could be snow showers in even inland areas at times. But obviously, you've got to be much closer to the time to see if that happens. Just generally cold northerlies, really. But towards the end, the milder air masses mix in, and everything turns back to rain. So not a very interesting GEM run. Too mild for anything, and the cold air does not fully sink in. So, not very good, to be honest. And finally, the ECM, which now runs out to 16 days. Again, northwesterly to northerly winds setting in. Then there's a extended low, which could actually, if it's more elongated. Never mind. I'm going to say it's further south, but that's further northwards. So that means snow is confined to very, very far north of northern England and northern Scotland. Anywhere in the yellow zone will not see snow. It will be primarily cold rain. As the low pressure clears out into the Atlantic towards Norway and Denmark, we'll go back into a cold northerly and a very unstable northerly with low pressure systems running down the east coast, bringing more snow showers. Maybe for long spells of snow at times. Another low zipping southwards, avoids the UK, doesn't really affect it. Then another low sinks in. Again, high pressure builds to the north. Very extensive, so this could actually cause further issues in the long term, with high pressure blocking or building a block towards Scandinavia. A colder pool to the east, and if winds came in from the east and this Atlantic started sending the jet stream further southwards or northwards, we would see colder winds exit Scandinavia and Western Europe from the east. So, but it's not very interesting. But the ECM, here we go, Saturday, Sunday, and again the snow risk is much further confined northwards. So I hope that they trend southwards, as it will be very disappointed for a lot of people. But obviously, snow showers and maybe more areas of snow through Wednesday, Thursday, maybe even into Friday. Extensive snow showers, and then the mild air returns. So take with that what you will. Let's have a look at the UK Met Global run. This is the other UK Met Office run. Didn't show you the pressure parts. Let's just see the snow extent, if there is any. So there's the rain on Sunday into Monday. This is the area of snow. So it's slightly further southwards with the UK Met lower res. Shows a snow event for maybe into central Britain and northern England. Cold air digs back in, and there's a few patchy snow showers, but nothing too interesting there. Oh dear. They are just trending northwards. And then the icon, which is not fully updated, but we'll have a look at the 6Z. Doesn't run out far enough. This is the low pressure here, and actually it's further southwards, so you would expect, with colder air sort of in place, but not really. Bit wishy-washy with that one. But with the colder air in place, you would expect there is a snow risk. There's a thumbnail. There is maybe a little bit of a snow risk, but not exclusively so. The arpege is here as well, but I'm not sure that will go out as far. That's the low there. Doesn't extend up to the north. Let's have a look at the 2 metre max temp. So they're about 3 or 4 degrees. The cold air through Scotland, central areas and northern areas are a little bit too mild for anything to be wintry, I'd assume. Just got back to weather. Alright, Mickey, no need to be so mean. Alright. Right, okay. Nice guy, him. Right, let's have a look. So if I have a look, we'll have a look at the seasonal model. CFS1. This is taken from yesterday. So let's see what it's showing for November. High pressure blocking towards Greenland. Low pressure to the east, and winds will be in from a colder northerly direction. Could be interesting. December looks more westerly. High pressure just centred out to our west and southwest. Low pressure towards Greenland, and winds around that will be coming in from more of a northwesterly or westerly direction. How does January look? The interesting month? Well, dear, that does not look very good. High pressure just to the north of Scandinavia. Low pressure rolling in from off the Atlantic, and winds will be in from the west. So around to slightly above average and very unsettled. February looks, well, low pressure centred over towards Scandinavia, so winds could come in from the north. Lowever, there's no blocking. It's centred to the northern side of Greenland, but there could be colder interludes with that if the low pressure sits over Scandinavia and some sort of ridge is up towards Greenland here. You could see briefer, colder snaps, but it looks quite mild. And March looks quite mild. April looks like it's going back to a northerly pattern. High pressure mid-Atlantic ridge up towards Greenland. Low pressure to the east and winds in from the north. So things do turn by then. So does not look great at this point. Now we have got the AIFS, which is also done at 360 hours. So have a look at that as well. Northwesterly into northerly. This low pressure's much more elongated, so this actually keeps the snow risk towards maybe even central England and northern England as well. And then before the cold air returns southwards, and pretty much all the way in the cold air, there's that little low zipping southwards, could clip parts of the southwest, and then we'll just keep going. And then eventually milder air builds in from the southwest with a massive 10-degree ice firm before, again, there's a block forming to our north and winds begin to encroach from a colder easterly. Now we are up to the 29th of November, and obviously it's a long way out, but there's a cold pool to our east, so if we began to bring in that cold air, it could be an interesting end to November with that. But I won't put my bets on it. To be honest, wouldn't put my bets on it at all, because it's 10 days out and it's the AIFS. It's never right. Never right. GAMA as well, the Japanese model. Very similar. See where the low goes. So it actually weakens it, so there is actually more of a chance of a snow event for most areas actually there. Which could be quite interesting. Another low zip southwards brings the risk of snow to maybe parts of Wales and possibly even southern parts of England before that zips away on the -5 line, comes back in. Looks quite cold there. So the ECM is mixed. The GEM is quite underwhelming. GFS is not too bad. It needs to bring the -5 line or the 0 degree ice further southwards. GMA, the Japanese one, doesn't look too bad. Icon's a bit too far northwards. UK Met Office is too far northwards. And the AAIFS is the best of a bad bunch, really. If we have a look at the GMA, it actually keeps the cold in by day 12. So there is still a chance that we do extend the cold. Remember, these models like to revert back to mild very quickly. So there we go. Where did you have interest in the weather come from? Oh yeah, I should have been looking at these questions. Where does your interest in the weather come from? Basically, I don't know. I started watching Gav a few years ago, like 2020, 2021, around the Christmas, funnily enough, when it was going about snow. And then I started looking at the charts myself. And then a few years later, I came back to them after some of my studies and was like, well, let's just give it a go. I was a bit shy going on camera at first, to be honest. I have had other channels, but I didn't really fully care about them, to be honest, as much as I do with this, really. This is my passion. I thought, let's just record it and see how it does, and just try and inject it with a bit more life into the scene, because some people do find it boring, and I can understand that, but personally, I like it. Blame my grandma for that. She whinging about my weather forecast being boring. Well, that's disgraceful. Meant to support me, aren't you? These grandparents, man. But yeah, that's where it's come from. Where's your cup of tea tonight? To be honest, Danny, had too many. I need a break from them. That's why I don't have one. Would it snow this year? Well, we'll have to wait and see. It will snow somewhere in this cold spell. I guarantee it. Actually, can guarantee it, even if it's just Scotland. But I still think there'll be some wintriness through next week, even into Wednesday and Thursday. There could be a little bit of snow, even to parts of the south and, well, south. Definitely Wales could see a little bit. I wouldn't rule it out in central England. Do you have a job? No, I do not. I don't yet. I don't have one yet. But we'll see how things go. Yeah, just thought I'd open up this questions tab. Hi mate, interested in weather next week. Fingers crossed some snow, but not counting on it, lol. Yeah, Nick, I wouldn't count on it. But you never know. In the UK, these models are rubbish sometimes. You've seen it with Christmas, and they flip and flop and flop most of the time. So if anything, they could be wrong. Yeah. I try to be more interested. I try to make better videos. In a few days' time as well, I'll be making when we've got a bit more certainty in the forecast, I'll try making my own snow risk forecast to help people plan and pinpoint the areas where I would say from the data that we've collected in a few days' time, where snow, cold, frost, ice is most likely, so people can, prepare for it. I don't know. I don't really know the word. Why is your comments keep getting deleted? They shouldn't be, Jamal. They're going into the questions section because I put the Q&A bit in a separate section so people can ask questions if they're interested in that sort of thing. So I put them in a different section if you had any questions. So they go in there, Jamal, if you can't see them. What do you think about Birmingham? Do you think we'll have snow? Well, Birmingham is the boundary zone, I'd say. So if we have a look, actually, at the charts here, and then go Birmingham, there we go. That should pull it up. So if I look at the GFS, you can see that there is a slight uptick in temperatures, and this is the uncertainty with the low. However, it's still below the 0 degree line. The GFS actually stays below it, and it's actually quite cold for a long time in the period. If you have a look at snow row for Birmingham, there is quite a lot of snow spikes. Remember, Birmingham's quite an elevated city, so it's not too difficult to get snow and snow showers there. There's definitely a risk of snow, I'd say 30-40%, maybe even 50% through the whole period anyway, at least, and that could change. And if we have a look at the individual snow runs, there's quite a few going for decent spikes, better than my area. As you can see there on Tuesday, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 runs are going for snow, and then there's even more. And there's even a chance towards the end as the cold spell, well, it's predicted to, retreat, I guess. But it stays cold for about 6, 7 days, maybe? No, 6 days at max, really. The GFS keeps it cold before going whoosh and then going really mild. So, if we have a look at the GEM, then that's showing a similar pattern. We can't see the snow charts. I think if anywhere was to be a boundary point, if we have a look at these lows, if you look at the GFS for Monday, you can see that Birmingham is slap bang in the middle of the heavy snow. So you couldn't rule it out. And this low might trend further southwards. A lot of the runs have had it northwards today, but there's still a few days to go. And if the GFS sets the trend and most of the runs start taking it southwards, then my area would not get snow, and I'd be very upset. But areas further southwards would see the snow risk elevated, and obviously on the back edge there could be some snow. It's even showing snow in the London area. That will not happen most likely, because London is a very warm area, to be honest. And yes, so to answer your question, you could get a little bit of snow. In fact, you could get a lot of snow. It just depends on these patterns and trends and anomalies. There is further lows which may zip southwards, but I actually think that these lows won't happen and they'll stay to the south of the country, may go into France, and I think we'll just stay in a northerly wind until about 10 days' time. If we live further northwards, though, there's a risk of a very significant snow event on Saturday the 23rd before the cold air sweeps away, and it's never to be talked about again. And then the rest of the winter will be very mild. No. Yeah, we'll see. Oh wow, yeah, I know. It's quite interesting. It's quite interesting. I haven't had something interesting to talk about in a while. What does the CFS do? Well, it's rubbish, so we'll ignore what it says. But it actually looks like the snow risk. You can't really tell because it's at 24-hour intervals. I can't say the word. But the low is actually keeping the cold air towards central regions. So central England, maybe even the Midlands could see some snow there. Keeps in the northerly winds for the next 10 days and actually extends the block before Atlantic's breakthrough, the block weekends, and it looks very westerly and very mild for the start of December. In fact, very mild. Wow. Extended mild spell. Will it get colder for Christmas? Well, low pressures keep rattling in. We're off the Atlantic. Will it get colder for Christmas? No, it looks very westerly and quite mild as well. Maybe some snow over the Scottish mountains, but that looks like an extremely mild Christmas. After Christmas, there is a brief cold snap, the -10 line, shooting through the country. Doesn't last long before we're back into the westerlies and very unsettled. Wow. Into January, things stay westerly. Then the low pressures start to dive further southwards. Could allow a little bit of -5 line moves back in. Then a colder spell, possibly. High pressure builds out to our west, and we bring in more of an easterly, especially into the south. So could be a little bit of snow in the south. Before the high pressure builds back towards Greenland, get another northerly shot. Looks very dry with this, but very, very mild for most of the time. Then the low pressures bring up winds from the south. Wow. Struggle to get in. This is a cold block building towards Scandinavia. Doesn't verify the Atlantic's too strong, or the polar vortex is too strong actually, and westerly and southwesterly winds return. So wow, this is very, very, very mild, and if you're a cold lover, then this would disappoint you. Although there's a little bit of a colder snap from the southeast there, a little bit of colder air, fades away as it's coming from the southeast and becomes mild, and there you go again. Wow. Westerly. But could be northwesters at times, could be a little bit of snow in the north. Apart from that, though, it looks like a very mild winter. Well, that's taken us into March, and towards the very end, a cold snap, but it wouldn't last long because there's no block. So, working from home day for the Brummies. Yeah, well, to be honest, if snow did fall, I'm not sure it would settle, to be honest. It's one of them, because it's so marginal, it might just be snow falling out the sky, if it's anything. But you can never rule anything out. You never know. You never know at all, to be honest. And yeah. It's one of them, though. There was people have been telling me, if I go to the archive and I have a look, 2010, Then if I go back, how do I do this? Right, so if I go to November 2010, or is it 2000? Then there was actually a cold snap here, people keep saying. I don't really know. Wasn't alive then. Well, I'm joking. What am I on about? Of course I was. 22nd of November. Then there was actually quite a similar pattern in 2010 if you look here. You can see that... oops, I've just skipped a year. One minute, my bad. If we skip the days, look. You can see it was very westerly, up to the 16th, 17th. And all of a sudden, high pressure begins to build northwards, brings in more of an easterly wind. And then it begins to migrate towards Greenland, brings down a quite cold northerly for the time of year. And then the -5 line gets in, and that's cold and wintry. Around the 26th of December 2010, November, sorry. And then it's followed in with the December to remember. Was that 2009? I can't remember, to be honest. There's a big Atlantic ridge towards Greenland, and low pressure sinking southwards. Temperatures are cold enough for snow, with these little troughs. Even to the 27th, the snow risk increases, with the -10 line moving into Scotland. Through the days go, turns more into an easterly, and it's still quite cold. Look at the cold air towards Scandinavia. You won't get that these days. The -5 line and the -10 moves into the country. Wow. And it looks like it's very cold and blocked. Mid-Atlantic ridge towards Greenland stays around, and wow. There will be lots of copious amounts of snow even for November here. And it just carries on, as you can see, just cold northeasterly winds. And then eventually, I can't see any more. But yeah, that's very cold spell there. Could that happen this time? I'd say there's about a 2% chance of that happening. But yeah, you never know. Yeah. So, what can we say about that then? So, finally, we'll run through the ECM to see what it's showing. Well, you just got a glimpse of the latest there. So we'll go to the forecasts, and we'll go to the extended range, and then we go to the week. Sorry, the thing's not running very well today. It's very slow on my end. Let's have a look at the pressure anomalies and see if there's any trends for the next couple of weeks. Right, so week 1, and we'll move this along because people whinge at me. Hello, James, how are you doing? Look at week 1 first, which is the 18th to the 25th of November. High pressure centred towards Greenland, block, and maybe a little bit in the Atlantic. Low pressure centred towards Scandinavia, and winds are in from the cold northeasterly wind. As you can see, the lows centred just to our east. And temperature anomalies are quite cold for the time of year, about, I'm not sure if that's 3 to 6 degrees below average, and even 6 to 10 towards Iceland. We need that. It's been quite mild, hasn't it, recently? Precipitation anomalies actually are wetter in the south, probably with the rainfall through Sunday. Drier in the north, where the cold air sat, but most areas will be cold. Week 2 is the 25th of November to the 2nd of December, so obviously that's 11 days out when the mild air is expected to return, but not necessarily. The ECM's going for it though. Low pressure to the north, high pressure to the south, and winds are in from more of a southwesterly. So, from very cold, well, quite cold, to mild, really. And temperature anomalies are, well, they're around average. Slightly above average in the south. You would expect them to go above average, really. Precipitation with the westerly and west-southwesterly, bringing in wetter conditions and more unsettled conditions. You would not expect anything less. Week 3 is the 2nd to the 9th of December. Well, this white area could be low pressure, and this is obviously a Scandinavian high, which is extending towards the Azores and towards Spain, and winds with that probably would be up from a very mild south or southwesterly, you'd expect. Let's have a look. Well, on the 500 HPA heights, the high pressure is over and to the east of the country, extending southwards. Basically, high pressure. Temperature anomalies are slightly above average, not too much of a deviation. There's a little bit of cold pool just to our east there. Well, this could be low pressure down here, and there could be a northerly. You'd expect precipitation anomalies with that to maybe be drier. I'm good, you? Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad, thanks. Let's see, is that driving average? Hey, it's obviously a bit far out now, but it's wetter than average to our west, drier than average to the east. You'd expect us to be a little bit wetter than average, possibly. Week 2024 will be the 9th to the 16th of December. Well, this indicates high pressures blocking to the north, in the Atlantic, to the north and up towards Scandinavia. Probably a trough of low pressure right over the top of the country there, so unsettled and potentially cold with winds in from the north, depends on the position of the low. Where's my 500 HPI? It's gone. There they are. Oh, I clicked on the wrong one. Yeah, this shows the same thing now. High pressure to the west and northwards, low pressure over the top probably, and temperature anomalies are going around average, so could be a bit more of an interesting week. You'd expect precipitation to be higher, and it is. As you can see, further out, weaker signal, but still above average. Week 5, 16th to 23rd. Oh, wow, we're going to get to Christmas. Ooh. High pressure everywhere. Through the west of Europe, extending into the east of Europe, and even into western Russia, up towards Greenland and just in the Atlantic. So dry and probably mild with that. Again, pretty mild. Could be some low pressure towards Greenland. We're under the high pressure. Winds are in from the west, you'd expect. Temperature anomalies, not much deviation. A long way out now, though. Higher than above average to our west, though with this. And precipitation anomalies, not much of a signal, but drier than average to our east and southwest. And finally, week 6 will be the 23rd to the 30th of December, 2024. Wrong chart, brilliant. Christmas period, well, oh dear. High pressure is through and just to the north. Winds could be in from the east into the south, but everywhere else probably quite mild. Again, winds from the east around the high pressure you'd expect. Something like this. Maybe into the southeast. Could be a couple of wintry showers, but it depends on air masses. Temperature anomalies, not much deviation, so there is the possibility of something slightly cooler, possibly, through from the 9th to the 30th of December. It's showing a cool, well, not cooler, but, you know, around average pattern. Doesn't really show much, to be fair. Obviously, it's weak anomalies. So could be showing, you know, same patterns over and over again. But obviously, we'll have to wait and see in due course. Now, we actually have the Icon 12s, the 6 PM run, because we're going on that long. Wow. And thank you all for watching, by the way. Are we at 300 subs yet? I haven't looked yet, so if you haven't already, please drop us a sub and get us to 300. Anyway, high pressure moves out to the west and winds in from the northwest into a northerly. However, oh no. Oh dear. Goodbye, cold and snow. The low pressure is approaching from the west very much further northwards, and dearie me, that would be a washout. Dearie me. The cold air is sat to the north of Scotland. Oh dear, that is a bad run. This might fall apart. And with Icon, it's bringing the low pressure in on the jet stream. It's bringing it right through the centre of the country. A dartboard low, very windy and very wet. No snow on the back edge. The colder air does dig in slightly, as you can see. Could be a little bit of snow on the back edge, but that just looks very, very wet and unsettled to me, and quite mild sector as well. Well, oh dear. That looks so bad. If you want colder from the Icon, oh dearie me. And this is the fret. And these usually the lows track further southwards, but the Icons blew it up and created it into a big low pressure system, making copious amounts of rain, not snow, and basically denying the coldies before the northerly does build back in. But who cares after that? The block's a lot stronger, much stronger. But look at the low. Here, it's way farther southwards. How's it trended so far northwards now? Oh, and it's bringing it in much later as well. Oh dear. Icon. I don't trust you anymore. You've ruined it. No, it hasn't. We'll do a stream tomorrow and we'll have a look at everything. But that's the end of the stream today. Thank you all very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. If you did, then please drop us a like. See the snow depth with that. Is for Scotland. Ooh, made a few people mad with that one. Shouldn't have shown it. But nah, don't take it too seriously at this point. It might change. Yeah, thank you all for watching. You're doing a good job never forecasting snow, is it? It's very difficult, especially when it's a bit far out. but you can get sort of an idea. So we know that that the risk is, if we look at the icon, for example, that this is an outlier at the moment, but obviously it could crop up within the ensembles and the data. But obviously this brings in the low pressure later and brings it in much further northwards. So this is one possibility. But anywhere between southern parts of Scotland and, well, central southern England are at risk, I reckon, of seeing this low. Or it could just completely shoot northwards, which cannot happen because the jet stream's to our south and will remain to our south. So as long as the jet stream carries this low further southwards, then we should be okay and it doesn't blow up the low like it's done here. More energy in the jet stream is powering up the low pressure system, bringing in copious amounts of rain there. Oh dear. That looks a little bit nasty area of low pressure to me. Hope the south does get the snow. I'm from North, so it would be nice to see the pictures. I will say it would be nice to see the pictures because I don't think the south's. They had that cold snap, was it January last year, and they didn't get that much snow. They did get like a snow event. It's like snowed when it wasn't it like the 8th of January or something. The high pressure built to the north, but not fully to the north, and allowed like a slack easterly flow with like really cold air masses moving in. And there was a few snow showers and a few prolonged areas of snow. Didn't really settle too much. Didn't really last very long either. But it was one of them events. And I think this could be one of them events where pop-up showers. It's good to see them moan from time to time. To be fair, the south has to moan a lot about the snow because they don't really get that much very often. Not as much as they used to. Not as much as December 2010. Oh, that was a proper brutal one. I can barely remember it. If I'm being honest, I can barely remember it. Wasn't old enough to remember that winter. But yeah, that's one of them. It's one of them, really. But hey, we'll go over it. So either tomorrow or what day is after tomorrow? Saturday. Tomorrow or Saturday we'll release our 10-day, and then we'll release when the details are more firmed up on. We'll release a snow risk forecast, and we'll go through everything and see what they're showing, and I'll give my general verdict at the end with proper good charts and edited charts and proper displayed well charts so you can understand it well. Yeah, I agree. It's funny to see it, but you know, do I feel bad? No, I want the snow. Give it to me. I deserve it. But yeah. So thank you all for watching this stream. I really hope you enjoyed, and if you are new, then please do drop us a sub. Hopefully we've hit 300 subs, and I hope we've hit 20 likes on this stream. But if we haven't, it's fine. Don't worry about it. But Gav's live stream can be a handful at times. Yeah, I can understand that. I had 400 viewers yesterday, didn't I? I was in there. I was watching it a little bit. But yeah, I enjoys what he's doing. Cheers to Snowy for subscribing. I didn't realise that Snowy subscribed 6 minutes ago. Thank you very much. Assume that's because you want the snow, and hopefully I'll bring you some. Hopefully I'll be a lucky charm. 453 damn, that's quite a lot in more than me, but we're just starting out, and I think I'm doing pretty well considering the time I've done. Cheers for watching, everyone, and I'll see you all in the next live stream /video. Bye bye, everyone.